I better give you some background really. I have a little bit of a unique role in my school in that I teach the gifted and talented particularly. So I go from year 3, 4, 5 and 6. And for maths and English I get kind of the top of the tops who come out with me. But within that week, my teaching week, I also have designed my own kind of program of study for these children. Which allows me to go a bit off curriculum really. It kind of impinges on the curriculum, but it just broadens it. So you'll see how I get to this point. But I had some year 6s for 7 weeks, and in the first week I told them we were going to do a module on design, which they got very excited about. And I sort of started them off thinking in a design way, first of all. So I don't know if you've seen Thinker's Keys. If you haven't, look that up and Google it, it's brilliant. And so you kind of have all these ideas based on a question. So it's like you can have like a what-if key and that kind of thing. So the one I gave them was, how many ways can you cross a river? And they had 4 minutes to produce as much as they could. And what you find is that gradually their thinking becomes more and more divergent, and they start, they really start looking for unusual ways to do things. The most unusual I had was that one boy said he would walk around the world the other way until he got back to the other side of the river. And all it had to be was possible, so I let it go. I said, that's fantastic. Anyway, from there, okay, that's fine. So from there I said, right, well, one of the features of design that you find in the world is biomimicry. Big word, but they sort of soon got it. And so we all have seen this kind of thing. You've got little hooks on the burrs and seat heads, and that's kind of a design of Velcro that we have. The shark skin swimsuit, which was later banned because it made everybody too fast. And it goes on and on and on. There's all sorts of designs in nature which human beings have sort of copied one way or another. And we, from there, kind of started this discussion. And I set them a little bit of a question. And I said, what if one day we had like another 150 kids have to come to our school? And we can't build up because it's not structurally safe, or the council won't allow it. And we can't just cover the playgrounds with new buildings because that would spoil everybody's fun. So, what? How can we solve this? And I sort of left it to them until they come up with this, which is what I wanted them to come up with. But build down. There's an unlimited amount of space going down. So we imagined this scenario where you can kind of just carve the top turf off the school field, dig it out, plant down your sort of concrete walls and everything else, and sort of re-engineered the school. So first of all we kind of did a brainstorm. We came up with all the things we'd have to think of. So they were great. They came up with kind of geothermal heating and solar panels, how they're going to get light down there, drainage down there. They started thinking about things like, well, we could just kind of put school swimming pool underground and that kind of thing, or a big cafeteria underground, and not change the classrooms, but add new stuff to the school. So this was kind of about week 3 we're up to here. That was great. We brainstormed that, and then they started drawing lots and lots of designs, which obviously you can't see right at the back and things, but they just sketched it out just as best they could, any which way they wanted. They had all sorts of things. We had round libraries, we've got escape tunnels, science labs, corridors that have got fish down the side of them like they're floating, like they're walking through an aquarium. They had sofas all over the place and beanbags. Which tells us a lot about classroom design, doesn't it? Theatres and staging, and they had just tons and tons of ideas. So then I introduced them to Google SketchUp, which many of you might know. They'd already met it in year 5. And the first kind of thing that they came up with, this was Rebecca, oh come on, was this sort of there. If you've not seen SketchUp, it's really, really good. So you can 3D rotate things with like kind of a CAD drawing. This is the kind of the original school building just here, and this is all of her underground work. And she sort of outlined where she would want things to be, without any real thought of what purpose each part had. But you can see she's actually kind of zoomed in down in this little space here. I don't know what these are going to be, beds or something, who knows. But she sort of envisaged this whole kind of playing field underground with all these spaces and rooms and that kind of thing. So that took a couple of weeks to get that kind of drawing set up. And then I came to Ben. Might just go through these little windows. Apologies. And Ben went all out. He just decided he was going to have... He decided that structure and shape was meaningless underground. And I thought, what a clever idea, yeah. It is. The walls aren't going to need to be self-supporting because they're surrounded by mud and earth. So he just kind of went for this really strange set of shapes. Might have a pointy roof underground, I don't know. But you can see he's got tunnels and all sorts of things underneath. I think this was going to be some kind of library up here. But just really a chance to be super creative with these kids. And that was great. And this girl, Samantha, she was really kind of dedicated to this. And her school was really quite something. So she had all sorts of features on here. And she knew exactly what everything was. That was what amazed me. She'd obviously been working it all out in her head as she went. And it wasn't just kind of random shapes that she was slapping together just to see what it looked like.
1 minute.
Thank you. She was really kind of pondering what things were. This is an elevator shaft and that kind of thing, so people could come in and it would take a whole class of 30 down at once, so you wouldn't kind of be delayed in a lesson. So I said to her, well look, why don't you take screenshots off SketchUp and then put that all into a PowerPoint and actually annotate your design as well. So that's what she did. In my last minute, I'll just quickly skim through that. So she had this kind of whole view. I thought an aerial view was quite funny because nobody would be able to see it if there was grass over the top, but I didn't tell her that. So she had a whole big kind of sports hall there, with all sorts of kind of strange shapes and angles and things. There's access tunnels and stuff. There's a lift to take a whole class down. And they absolutely thoroughly enjoyed themselves. 7 weeks work from starting with just, we're going to do design for 7 weeks. And we ended up with this kind of really creative, out there, 3D CAD kind of design program of how we might change the school and what the future of schools could look like. So that was it. Thank you very much.